everyone, welcome to another insightful episode of Expert Edge series where I bring you insights from the most inspiring and accomplished professionals on fields related to personal and professional transformation. Today, we are honored to have Aniruddha Pathak, a TEDx speaker, confidence and clarity mentor for budding coaches, personality sculptor, public speaking coach, and podcaster. With over a decade of experience transitioning from successful corporate career to becoming a mentor for thousands of aspiring coaches like me, Anirudh has transformed his own journey into a mission, empowering 10 million budding coaches to build thriving businesses with clarity and confidence that's of utmost importance. Through his four-step VAPR framework, we will be discussing about what exactly it is. Now, he is also a gifted public speaker, having hosted TEDx Lonavala. I am planning to go to TEDx, and I'm sure Anirudh will be helping in that as well. Now, he has hosted events with audiences ranging from 50 to 2,000 people, a voiceover artist, author, storyteller, sharing motivational tales of legendary warriors and leaders. And his mantra is be the change and keep learning, keep growing, is a beacon for many aspiring coaches looking to flourish both professionally and personally. So please join us as we uncover Anirudh's secret to overcoming challenges, mastering public speaking, and building a purposeful coaching business. Now, the topic for discussion today is the art of coaching with confidence, lessons from a TEDx speaker and a mentor. So, welcome, Anirudh, to my show.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. This truly means a lot, and this is absolutely a privilege to be on your prestigious platform. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Anirudh. So, I have explained our audience little bit about I know about you, but it will be privilege for all of us to know from horse's mouth.
Okay. So I'll just give a little brief that how exactly I started with this, right? So I started working at the age of 22, and after working into corporate, I worked with corporates like Reliance Communication, Jet Airways, Vodafone. I've worked with different corporates across the country, and while doing that, I realized that this is something which I actually wanted to, explore this field of training and coaching, because while being into corporate, I handled multiple profiles. I was enterprise business manager, I was the communications manager, I was the customer service manager, sales manager, and all that, right? But when I got introduced to training and coaching, I found my calling, right? So I took good 5 years of understanding that field itself, and when I touched 32, I realized that this is something which I want to do for the rest of my life, and I decided to quit. So that's when in 2013 I started on my own, and it's almost been 11 years that I'm into this industry. And when I started with my journey, I basically started working with students, because I found that that is the place wherein the actual work has to happen, right? Because that's where the overall thought process changes, the overall exposure starts coming to the people, and that is when I realized that okay, this is the area which needs a lot of work, right? So that's when I started working with students. And when I was doing that, I realized that I was having a lot of interaction with the students' parents also. So when I was doing that, I was into career coaching for students, and I did that for good almost 7 years and all. Then simultaneously, I started working with the parents also. So I started working as a parent coach again, right? I started, upgrading my skills also, right? And then when I was working with parents, I realized that okay, they have their health challenges and there are no their mindset challenges. So I started getting into their health element also. So I upgraded myself for that also. So I got into sleep coaching. And then when I was doing all these things, I got introduced to my mentor, right? So I should say my mentors, right? And when I did that, I realized that I was doing so many things which were not required. And when the mentor entered into my life, my mentor told me that there are multiple things jo aap kar rahe ho, which is not supposed to happen, which you should not do, right? And that's when it actually clicked into my mind that there are multiple people. You will find hundreds of people, those who will tell you what you need to do, but you will find very handful of people who will come into your life and they'll tell you what you should not do, right? And that's what became the game changer for me. And when I spoke to my mentor, I realized that what I should be avoiding. And that's when business coaching started taking shape, and I started upgrading myself into that. So whatever experience I had over the period of last over a decade, I started collecting it all together, and then business coaching started happening. And today I am where I am in front of you sitting.
Awesome. That's a pretty brief introduction about you. And I was about to ask you what made you come into being a mentor and a public speaker. So you already answered that question. Now, Aniruddha, one thing that you always mention about struggling with the basis of coaching business building early on. That's what
Yeah.
something even I struggled for in the earlier days. So, what were
Mhm.
the biggest challenges that you can think, and how did you simplify them into your four-step VAPR framework?
Okay, so my VAPR framework are nothing but the steps in which generally people struggle, right? So what I realized when I actually started building my business also, right? So when I started in 2013 till 2020, till I had an interaction with my mentors, I was visible to many people, right? My visibility started growing. I started getting onto different stages. I started delivering motivational sessions to 2,000 people to 10,000 people, right? So I had seen that crowd sitting in front of me, and I was doing fairly good, right? I would not say no that, but only challenge was, it was not reflecting into my bank account. Right? So let's be very honest that whatever we are doing, ultimately, if it is not giving you the kind of satisfaction, the
Right.
monetary satisfaction, if it is not happening, after a certain point of time, the motivation changes into frustration,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was the phase when I was into that moment, that my motivation was changing into frustration because 7 years into the industry, nothing was working for me. So I realized that, what exactly needs to be worked on. And then my mentor started giving me the clarity that, okay, you need to work on your visibility first. And then when I started building my own, coaching business and the journey as well, I started studying different coaches across the world, right? So I attended programs from Tony Robbins also. I attended program for Dan Locke also, Ron Malhotra also. Indian coaches also attended multiple programs. And when I started observing them very closely, I observed that they all have one common pattern, which is very, obvious to see, that everybody works on their visibility. That's point number one. Everybody works on their authority because anybody goes to them considering them as an authority into their field. So
Mm-hmm.
if I say today who is the number one person in life coaching, लोग आंख बंद करके बोल सकते हैं टोनी रॉबिन्स,
Yes, yes.
right? Just it comes to you automatically, right? So it's that way, right? Then people generally struggle with their program or process, right? And then people work onto their results, right? So if you see all these elements that VAPR, that I generally call it as, is nothing but these four steps only. You need to work on your visibility, you need to work on your, your authority, you need to work on your program or process, and you need to work on your results. Now the coaches who are starting with this journey, initially they all have the similar kind of a pattern, because even I had the similar kind of pattern. And
Mm-hmm.
even today people have the same challenge that they are going on. They
Mm-hmm.
are struggling with their visibility. They are like, I have so much of knowledge, I have so much of, qualifications I have done XYZ, and from this institution, from this person and everything, but still they are struggling to get the clients.
Mm-hmm.
Still they are struggling to get known into the industry, right? Even if at all they are known, people are not coming in asking, or rather they are not ready to pay what we are asking for. For an
Correct.
example, if I say that I am going to charge X amount for a particular program that I am going to conduct, people will definitely have the question that why I should pay this person that much of amount. That's where the authority becomes a question mark,
Correct.
right? And when the person talks about the visibility, they have the good visibility, they have good authority, but again, they don't know how they are going to generate the results for the client.
Mm-hmm.
In their mind, it's very clear with them, but
Correct.
when it comes to showing it to people कि यहाँ से आप यहाँ जाओगे, they don't know how you are going to do that. That's where they struggle with the program.
Mm-hmm.
And many times I have come across people who are having good visibility, good authority, good programs, but results are not there.
Mm-hmm.
So something somewhere needs to be tweaked, right? So that is where, VAPR comes into picture, and that's how it clicked me that okay, this is the basic thing that needs to be worked on. Koi rocket science is not required. Just work on these four elements, and I'm absolutely sure, because I've done that for more than 500 coaches so far, and
Wow.
I'm absolutely sure that you just work on these four elements, things will get sorted.
Wow, that's so true, Anirudh. So basically, it's not only about your visibility or authority, because I have
Yeah,
seen a lot of coaches who have 10,000 or 20,000 followers, maybe Instagram or LinkedIn, but they're not doing great in their business, right? So
true, true.
definitely, where I come from is you should have conviction in what you are saying, and you should have conviction in the transformation that you are going to provide. So there comes
Absolutely.
your confidence and clarity. Now, my
Yeah.
next question to you is confidence and clarity are the key focus for budding coaches for sure. How do you
Yes.
personally define these qualities and why they are the basis of any coaching business?
Okay, it's not only about the coaching business, but any of the interactions that people generally have. You just need to have two things with you, that is confidence and clarity. Why confidence? Because anything that I want to do in my life, right? If I am not confident,
Mhm.
of doing what I'm supposed to do, right? It's always going to be a question mark in people's mind that, okay, this person is not looking confident. Should
Mhm.
I invest in him? It's
Correct.
not about whether they are ready to give you 2 lakhs rupees or 20 lakh rupees or even 2000 rupees,
They can smell
right? In
it.
Indian concept, they
We
can sense it. It
yeah.
actually is seen in the person's eyes, your body language, your overall, aura speaks a lot, which is very basic,
Mhm.
right? So that is when, and confidence comes from clarity as well.
Yeah.
Right. So if I know that A के बाद B आना है, B के बाद C आना है, so even if at all I am like A, B, C, D, if I am going to talk like that, I know what is going to come after that, right? So why? Because I have the clarity of what I need to do,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? So confidence and clarity always goes in hand, right? So it cannot be like I have the clarity and then I'll have a confidence, or I have the confidence and then clarity will come. It will never happen like that. It always go hand in hand. So you need to work on your confidence. Along with that, you will keep on getting the clarity. The more you have the clarity, the more you will have the confidence.
Yeah, and Anirudh, since you are a public speaker, you are a motivational person. So I would like to ask you, there are a lot of coaches in the market who are not very confident to talk in public. So when they have to talk on a particular stage, they are like fumbling. Their
Hmm.
hands are shaking, their voice is trembling, everything happens. So do
Hmm.
you suggest that anyone who wants to get into the coaching business has to be an amazing speaker as well?
Absolutely. Right. And it's not only about anybody wants to get into coaching. If anybody wants to grow into their job as well,
Mm-hmm.
if anybody wants to grow into their family business also, right? Any of the profession that a person is, the every individual needs to work onto the public speaking, right? And if even if at all you are talking to your family members, you have public speaking
Yeah.
because that's an audience for you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if at all you are talking to your friends, that's public speaking for you. People understand public speaking as if like somebody has to stand on a stage and I know 150 200 people are sitting in front of them, and then whatever they'll deliver, that is only considered as a public speaking. No, it's not. Even if at all you are sitting in front of your team and delivering an idea in front of them and telling them that this needs to be done by this method, how effective you convey that message is public speaking. Is as simple as that,
Correct.
right? So if I am not a good public speaker, if I am not a good speaker, just a speaker also,
Mm-hmm.
I may not be able to sell my ideas even to my team,
Yeah.
right? Forget team. If I am not a good speaker, I cannot convince myself also to get into any action.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons, I have seen in my last organization, last organization, there are people who have spent healthy 11 to 12 years in a particular designation, senior associate
Yeah,
advisor, senior advisor, specialist, but they are not ready mentally to get the position of a team lead or an assistant manager or a manager. And then they crib about this that they are not getting the position. And I used to
exactly.
ask them, when was the last time you presented an idea to your existing team? When did you
Exactly.
spoke up? So definitely, as
True.
you rightly said, it is interconnected. You have to be a speaker in any forum whatsoever, even if you want to
True.
grow professionally.
True.
Yeah.
And today, in today's time, even learning public speaking is a skill, right? So it can be learned. So I am not a gifted speaker, as you said in the introduction. I'm not a gifted speaker. When I went onto the stage for the first time, even my hands were sweating, my legs were shivering, right?
Mhm.
I could feel the chill going down on my spine, and I realized that, oh my God, what I have signed up for, right? So that was that kind of an experience I had when I went onto the stage for the first time, right? But as you rightly said that yes, people do fumble. Even I fumbled. Any of the great speakers that you can see onto the stage today, everybody started with a fumbling,
Mhm.
everybody started with shivering, everybody had that sweats on their hands, everybody had an experience, but the only thing is they accepted who they are.
Correct.
That's what I understood, and that's what I did on myself also. So when I realized that okay, this is something which I enjoy,
Mhm.
right? But to get into that phase of knowing that okay, I'm enjoying public speaking, I just need to accept myself that okay, fine, I'm just going the way I am and I'm going to talk my heart out,
Mhm.
right? So even if at all I fumble, I accept my fumble that यार इंसान हूँ, गलती कर सकता हूँ,
Mhm.
right? So people get stuck only with the thought when they realize that if you're on a stage, you're not allowed to fumble. That's a huge myth.
Correct. And it also depends on a lot of reputations. Once you
Yeah,
face an adverse situation, it's not that that is the defining factor. You have to
absolutely.
go further, and that's where I have learned Atomic Habits from, right?
Ah, it's wonderful book.
Yeah, that's where it comes into picture. You are not, as you said, God-gifted speaker, and also we have not learned everything when we were in our mother's womb, right? We
Yeah,
came
yeah,
to this
absolutely.
world, and that's how we learned. Now, having said
True,
that,
true.
Anirudh, hosting, these events on a large scale or something like TEDx, there
Yeah,
is not a cake. piece of cake, right? So can you
Yeah.
share a memorable experience from these moments that shaped your approach that yes, I can do it, I can host something like this, I am already a great speaker, and your approach to leadership and communication?
So honestly telling you, like, when I hosted a TEDx event, it was not a planned strategy,
Mhm.
right? So it just came to me as an opportunity. My friends were, holding a license of TEDx, and they wanted to, have that complete event happening. I had, a feeling that I should also contribute into their cause, and I was looking out for an opportunity that how I can be a part of their mission as well,
Mhm.
right? So I just approached them, if I have anything, which you seem fit for me, and I would love to be a part of your initiative. And they asked me that, कि यार हम event तो कर रहे हैं, but just wanted to know if you'd love to, be on a stage and have a small interaction and do a hosting of that event. And I was like, I was not ready for that. I was like, okay, let me see. And I got into that, TEDx wala thing. But before that also, I was working with, one of the, very fine coaches of our country at that time. And we were having an yearly event happening. Right. So I was one of the crew members, and I was given a responsibility of a particular department. Right. So जब event होता है तो multiple departments are there. So I was just one member of one particular department. And for some reason, I went onto the stage and I delivered something. And the head of the complete program observed me at that time, and that he gave me the idea that why don't you get onto the stage and do the complete hosting of it. And that was actually the first point when I was given an responsibility that okay, I can be onto the stage and have that conversation with people and have that feel of engaging with them also. Not that I was never been onto the stage before that,
Mhm.
but being a host and being a speaker are two different things, right? So I had to actually draw a very fine line becoming a host and becoming a speaker. That when you get onto the stage, you also realize that as a leader, as you ask that, how leadership happens, right? So I keep on observing cricket very closely, and Mahendra Singh Dhoni, I'm absolutely sure that
Mhm.
everybody knows the name, right, and the person as well, right? So I always see that this person, this man is somebody who is like, whenever the situation is not right, when the team has not performed well, he's always standing in front.
Mhm.
But when the team has won, when the team has done very good, he's always standing at the side or the back.
Mhm.
He never takes the limelight,
Mhm.
right? And that's where, even if it, as a host of an event, that's where you're, as a leader, you have to do that,
Mhm.
right? Because the speakers or whatever event is going to happen, that's your team.
Mhm.
So you just are there as an anchor. You're just, as a bridge between the audience and the speakers. So you're
Mhm.
just coming there, creating that moment and giving the platform to somebody else to perform.
So one thing that I got is like I always talk to my clients in the way you have to be ready. Opportunities are always there. You have to look at it through that particular eyes. And that's what you just highlighted. You did not go there with an intention to host a TEDx, right?
Yeah.
You went with an intention to do XYZ things, which is
Just
not,
contribute.
yes,
Just
contribute.
contribute. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be ready, and that's when universe shows you the designation. That's what
Absolutely.
happens, right? Now,
Absolutely.
let's talk about your motivational sessions on warriors like Shivaji Maharaj and MS Dhoni. Just now you talked about
Mhm.
it. What do you think? How do these stories inspire coaches to build resilience and leadership in their journey?
Oh, they inspire a lot.
Mhm.
So what they did almost, 350 years back is something which is inspirational, motivational even today, right? Not having any resources, nothing in their favor, everything is going against, and still standing with the one common belief that I want to do something for my people, right? Even today, when anybody stands on the road just with the thought that I want to say something, and they just say, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj ki मन से निकल के आता है जय, right? और वो अपने आप आता है. It's simply because a person, whatever he has lived his life, for people.
Mhm.
एंड उन्होंने अपनी जिंदगी में जो कुछ भी किया वो आज भी इतना मोटिवेटिंग है. आई ऑल्सो कीप ऑन टेलिंग पीपल दैट यू आर इम्पैक्टिंग पीपल्स लाइफ. आई हर्ड दिस beautiful thought some time back when I was attending one of the programs, that people die two times in their lives,
Mhm.
right? You die twice. One is when you actually die, physical form is dead. And second, when people stop talking about you.
Okay, wow.
Right. And that actually blew my mind that, okay, all these people, they have lived their life, that even if at all after 350 years of that person passed on, no,
Mhm.
भौतिक शरीर निकल गया है उनका, लेकिन उनका काम आज भी इस दुनिया में ऐसा रखा हुआ है कि आज भी हम उनकी बात करते हैं.
Mhm.
Right? And
Correct.
that is personally, I feel that, वो नहीं है, वो यही है, वो गए नहीं.
Wow.
Right, and that's what is my inspiration. That's what I feel, that people should realize that okay, whatever I am doing आफ्टर 3 generations फ्रॉम नाउ, क्योंकि शायद मेरा बेटा, मेरे पोते या मेरे परपोते मुझे याद रखेंगे, उसके बाद मुझे याद रखने वाला कौन है.
Wow, that's such a great thought. And Aniruddha, I guess that is one of the reasons why you started your podcast straight from heart with Anipart.
Yeah,
So Aniruddha
yeah,
Pathak. Now, what is
yeah.
the recurring theme or message that you believe everyone, be it job professional, entrepreneur, coach, what they should get out of it?
Anything that comes from your heart is there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the only reason of having the name also straight from heart with Anipart is just whatever goes in my heart in that particular week.
Mm-hmm.
मेरे दिमाग में जो भी चल रहा होगा, जो भी थॉट्स आ रहे होंगे, जो भी आसपास का माहौल होगा, I just get into that zone, because that's the way I designed my podcast, because I also wanted to start something and I wanted to reach out to more number of people. So I created that avenue. But then I realized that therein I don't want to have an interaction as such.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing as I'm against with that format, but that is something which, that format, I felt like, okay, why it cannot be more of like me just sharing what I'm feeling.
My story.
Just a clear flow of thought. Let it flow. I'm not putting any filters. So whenever I do, the first season is already done. I'm coming up with the second season also. So in the first season also, I never had a thought wherein I was like, I scripted it.
Mm-hmm.
I just had 2, 3 pointers that, okay, this is the point I'm going to talk about. These are the 2, 3 things probably I'll speak about, and I'll just go and I'll start the recording. And I actually did it. And I was very surprised that people took it very nicely.
Wow.
Right. So that's when I thought that okay, now I have to come up with probably more better ideas so that I can reach out to more number of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the season 2 came into my thought, and again, in this month, definitely, it's the birthday month of my mom, and I wanted to give something as a birthday gift. So I
Wow.
thought, why not season 2?
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
yeah, so
And
that's the
also,
thought.
Aniruddha, you also authored a book that is adding extra to ordinary.
Yeah.
Now, definitely there is something, some hidden message in that. Can you share one lesson and why people should go ahead and buy that book? What are they getting out of it?
Okay, so it's an ebook. That's point number one. Point number two, these are all again stories which actually shaped my life, and these are all the real life stories,
Mm-hmm.
right? So some or the other way people encountered, I encountered with them, I had a conversation, and they impacted in certain ways in or my thought process, and that became a story in that book.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I'll just give a small example that why you need to add extra to the ordinary is, why that thought came to my mind is, when I was into college, I was hosting one of the programs in our college itself, and I did the complete hosting. The program went well. I did a huge blunder in the beginning of the program also, right? And still the program went well, and everybody appreciated. Only the faculty, only the sir whom I appreciated a lot, he never appreciated me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, everybody came and congratulated, and he never came and congratulated, and I was like, yaar, sab तारीफ कर रहे हैं, ये क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I was into that awe. No, I was like walking 1 feet above the ground, having
Yeah,
a lot of
I
air in
did a
my
great
mind.
job.
Yeah, right. So मैं तो बहुत बढ़िया काम कर चुका हूँ, मैं तो बाप हूँ, तो मैं तो आगे जाके बात करूंगा. And I was restless that why didn't he came and congratulated? And he was my teacher, huh? And I was having a thought that why he didn't come and say that that you have done a good job. So I was getting restless. One day I went to the teacher's room and I asked him that, sir, we have conducted a beautiful program in our college. He was reading a book. I still remember that. He was sitting like this. He was reading a book. And he said, yeah, I know that. He didn't even look at me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I said that, sir, I was the anchor of that program. He said, yeah, I know that. He didn't even look that again. Right. So he was reading that. And I asked him a couple of times, 2, 3 pointers here and there. And at one point, sir, and I was restless. सो मुझसे रहा नहीं गया और मैंने उनसे पूछा, बोला सर सबने आकर के बहुत तारीफ करी, आपने कुछ नहीं बोला. And that was the point. He just closed his book. He kept it on a table. He looked at me straight into my eyes and he said one thing. And the thing was, मेरी शाबाशी के लिए तुम्हारे पास जगह नहीं है.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shattered. I was like, मेरी शाबाशी के लिए तुम्हारे पास जगह नहीं है. And I was like, ये कब हो गया? Right? So जिस हवा पे मैं चल रहा था वो अचानक से गायब हो गई. I fell down onto the ground. And I was going back into the history and I was trying to relate कि क्या हुआ है exactly, what went wrong where. I couldn't understand that. And 8 days I was just running behind him. जहां भी वो जाएंगे मैं उनके पीछे जाकर के बैठा था, सर प्लीज बताइए गलती कहाँ हुई, प्लीज बताइए गलती कहाँ हुई. 8 days, he tested my patience at that time. And on the eighth day, I was knowing that he is having the last lecture. So I was actually sitting out of his classroom on the stairs. I still remember I could see myself sitting there. He came out and I literally was on his feet and I was crying. And I was like, sir, I'm extremely sorry. मुझे समझ में आ गया गलती मेरी कहाँ है. Please मुझे बताइए गलती कहाँ है. And he just, held my hand and then I stood and he said, मेरे कंधे पे हाथ रखा और एक चीज उन्होंने बोली कि बेटा कोई भी शाबाशी ना कंधे के ऊपर जानी नहीं चाहिए. And that was the point which actually shaped me that, oh, I realized that if I want to become an extraordinary, right? I was doing so many things, but the only thing was I was very ordinary at that time, right? Even if at all I have done the extraordinary work, I was getting stuck with that extraordinary thought process. Right? The moment he said na कि कोई भी शाबाशी कंधे के ऊपर जानी नहीं चाहिए, and I was like, oh, every shabashi went into my head.
Wow, that's so touching, Anirudh. And as we already know, there are a lot of coaches coming into the market every day, right?
Yeah,
But if you talk about the real numbers, more than not 1% is successful or
yeah,
rolling in the business, right? So
yeah,
if
yeah.
you can give one powerful piece of advice to someone who's just starting with this particular journey, what do you think what they should be ready with?
If your coaching business, or forget coaching business, if your journey is starting with the thought process that what I am going to get, your journey is going to stop the moment you start getting it because you had a thought of getting it, that one particular portion of
Right.
it, when the universe is actually ready to give you more. But you never thought of asking a question, what I can give more. The question was what I can get. So
Yeah.
if you're always thinking of give and adding more value to people's life, universe is abundant. It will never cease of giving you anything, whatever you can dream or you can achieve. Right? आज ही मैं एक पॉडकास्ट सुन रहा था जिसमें the lady said it very beautifully that if you can dream it, right? If it is there in your thought process, it's simply because you are already aligned with the energy of achieving it. The only thought is we start getting confused with the surrounding and anything around us. We start losing our own confidence also. Just focus on what problem you can solve. It doesn't have to be $1 million problem, right? Even if at all ये problem 10 लोगों की problem को भी अब solve कर सकते हैं आप किसी भी वजह से, right? Trust me that 10 can become 100, 100 can become 10,000 also, right? Because people need good people to talk to.
Yeah.
Right? They don't need qualifications. They don't need any fancy degrees and all. They just need somebody whom they can connect with. तो अगर आप जितना raw होकर के लोगों से बात कर सकते हैं ना, the more you talk from your heart, people will start connecting with you. So even if at all you are getting into coaching business, you will see that initially एकदम client आ जाएंगे, and then there will be a complete silence. कुछ भी move नहीं करेगा. So that is the time when universe is testing you whether you are ready for big.
Yeah.
So if you are ready for big, take that time as a testing time, learning time
Because
for you.
very rightly said, Anirudh, a lot of coaches I see when the market is not very good, what they do is 2 months, 3 months, it's not doing good.
Yeah,
So you just skip and move to the second job. Nothing is happening.
absolutely.
Rejoin somewhere else, even though it is giving you
Absolutely.
40, 50, 60. So yeah, rightly said, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So elevate yourself, elevate your state, and then start attracting what it is.
Absolutely.
Now, Anirudh, thank you so much for such a wonderful discussion. I would like to
Thank
ask
you.
you, for people to know more about you, what is the way to connect? That is point number two. Who are the people who should connect with you? Only the coaches, entrepreneurs, or who are your audience who can
I
learn?
mean, like people who want to just, love to have conversations. I'm always open for that. That's not a challenge, right? On LinkedIn, I'm always available on all the social media platforms. I'm absolutely open. Please connect. I'll be more than happy to serve in any which format is possible, right? And for the target audience, if you're asking for, my basically target audience is the people who are actually starting with their journey. So their journey should be 0 to 5 years.
Okay.
Right. So if you are already 5 years into the journey, then probably you are already experienced to know what I'm going to talk about. Right. So then probably you may not get what you're looking out for. Right. So probably I may not be the right person. But if you want to have a conversation, of course, anybody can get in touch with me. I'll ensure that you're reaching out to the right people also.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right. So that, ठीक है मेरे पास solution नहीं होगा लेकिन शायद मैं जानता हूँ जिनके पास आपके लिए solution होगा तो probably I'll help you out with that also. Right. So there is no restriction on that part. Please feel free to get in touch with any of the mediums, Instagram. There are websites. I have my own website also. So you can connect me on website. You can connect with me on Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Most welcome.
Yeah. Great. And I will post all the links of Aniruddh's channel on my
Yeah.
description section. So thank you so much, Anirudh. Any
Thank you.
nugget that you would like to share with the audience watching you right now?
Um, just be in the zone of gratitude, just be in the zone of, visualization, imagination, and trust me, this actually works. Law of attraction 100% works, but the only thing is you need to be ready to receive. That's it, right? And just keep on adding value, guys.
Thank you so much, Anirudh. There's a lot to learn from a personality like you. And
Thank
please
you.
stay in touch. Thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show
you.
today.